Hello, everyone, and welcome in. Today is Wednesday, August 16th, and I'll be doing your daily card pull to see what all messages God, Spirit, the Divine has coming through for you. One thing that is happening today is we have our new moon in Leo, and that's going to be kind of about the beginning of new projects, bringing in some creative energy, maybe something a little different or unconventional. So if you've had that thought of, maybe it would be interesting to start this or that, this is a good time to do it. So let's go ahead and jump in. Today we will start with our fire signs. So that's going to be our Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. And let's see what messages are coming through for you. All right. Your major arcana is Judgment. I feel like this card has come up a couple times for our fire signs lately. So this is about divine judgment. Oftentimes it's about, kind of favorable judgment coming in, but it is also about kind of that awakening to a new realization. So you've gone through, the tower, like if you're looking at this as a progression from zero, from the Fool, all the way up to the World, you've gone through the tower, you've had, some good times, you've had some bad times, and now it's kind of the culmination of, have you completed out this lesson? Have you finished up with it? It's kind of about a little bit of rebirth as well. So that's the Judgment card. And your Moon card is nothing will come of this situation. So that's something that, like I said, oftentimes it's about favorable divine judgment, but in some cases it's also about the flip side of that. So if you've been doing something and now the Judgment card is showing up, it's like, okay, stand there and be judged by the divine. It takes a certain level of maturity to be able to say, okay, this is what's happened. I'm going to stand here. I'm going to let the judgment happen. But this card is saying nothing will come of this situation. So depending on what it is that you have on your mind or how this resonates with you, if there's something where it's like, should I do this? Should I not? Should I stay on this path? Should I go on that path? And you probably kind of already know this. There's probably a certain level of intuition, but you're letting your ego, you're letting that monkey mind yell over the voice of your intuition. So let's take a look at our Sacred Creator card. Overrate your intuition. So that's looking at it like, okay, your intuition knows what feels right, and that's kind of that quiet whisper. So you do need to look at that and what is your intuition telling you. So this whole thing of it's kind of also about tricking yourself a little bit. This does also say at the end of here, or at the bottom, void of course moon. And when you look at it, the sky is totally dark in this picture, and you do have the moon. And the Moon card, when you look at it on the major arcana, that's kind of that subconscious. That's kind of, what's happening in the dark covers of night. So if you look at it from that perspective too, if that's a subconscious thing, subconsciously you already know nothing's going to come of it. So at that point, don't keep yourself looping through these same cycles of lessons and lessons and lessons. The way you move on from certain lessons, it's not to bury your head in the sand and pretend it didn't happen. It's to stand up, be judged, learn from the judgment that's coming down, and move forward making different choices. So let's take a look at your Flower card. Learn by fully feeling. And so again, this goes along with this idea of let the judgment come through. You're never going to finish out a lesson unless you let the final judgment come through. So even if you think about it from a classroom perspective, you don't necessarily get to say, oh, okay, well, I'm just going to, continue to fail this course. If it's a kind of a required course type of thing, you don't just get to keep failing it. Like, you're going to have to repeat the class. You're going to have to do it again. So even if you don't want to, you may as well suck it up and learn the lesson so that you can be on to something different and more fulfilling. Okay. Let's see. The next one is going to be our Earth sign. So that's going to be our Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. What is coming through for you? The Sun. So good, the sun shining brightly for you. This is blessings coming down from the divine. There have been, I know for our earth signs, there's been some, I feel like the tower has come up a couple times in the last week. So it looked like there were some big changes happening. And now, look for the sun, look for the blessings. Even if something that was important to you fell apart, whether it was a job that was important to you that you lost, whether it was a, friendship that you lost for whatever reason, look for those blessings, because there's some sort of a lesson that you learned. And, again, if you let the lesson flow, then you can be on to the next thing. All right, let's take a look at your moon card. Take time to breathe out. And with that one, when you take that time, even if you're in midst of strife, if you're in the midst of some struggle, if you can kind of take the time to do that breath work, that will really help you to be able to see your blessings. And so this one wanted to jump out at you. What does your soul say? And in that stillness, you're able to see what your blessings are. You're able to see what your soul is telling you. I'll pull a regular one too, since that was a jumper card. The regular one is the edge of evolution feels messy. These two, as I've been saying, when you look at the color schemes, they're definitely going together. This message goes together. What does your soul say? But you need to take that time to breathe out in order to be able to listen to your soul. And this one, the edge of evolution feels messy. That's because as you're growing, just like when you're a kid and, you have growing pains, maybe you don't, as an adult, you don't remember it, but maybe you have children or nieces or nephews that are going through that, where you feel achy, like when you have these growing pains. That's, I guess that's the first part in life, is you're working through the kind of the physical growing pains. And now as an adult, it's more of the emotional or soul types of growing pains, as you realize, wait a second, this lesson was really tough, but I'm on to something else, like trying to see the wisdom behind those lessons. All right, let's take a look at your flower card. Compass, follow your inner compass. And with that, it's a matter of kind of having that meditation, connecting with your soul. What feels right with your soul? And it's going to feel messy. New starts are usually kind of scary. I do like that from that movie Hope Floats, when at the end, and she's making a comment about, like, endings are usually sad, beginnings are usually scary, but it's the middle part. So try to focus on, as best you can, the middle part, because the beginning might seem scary, but it doesn't mean that you shouldn't do it. All right, so now we're on to our water signs. And so that's going to be our Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Your card is Temperance. So it's about finding that balance, seeing the other side of things. It's about kind of finding that harmony, finding that logical harmony, kind of that balance. There's been a lot of talk lately, especially the last few weeks, about balancing of energies. So, balancing your internal masculine and your internal feminine. And that there's just been a lot of energy in the collective and in general about trying to find that balance. So this card is also a reminder to you to find that balance. You don't want to be all in heart space or all in head space. You have to figure out, how do you weave those energies together within you. All right, let's take a look at the moon card. Communication is key. New moon in Gemini. So we do have that new moon coming up today. And it's not the new moon in Gemini, but kind of a time to look at, what are your communication patterns? What could you maybe communicate differently or better? Whether you're communicating something tough, or even if you feel like things are okay with my relationships, with things at work, there's always the ability to communicate more effectively or clearly. So let's take a look at our Sacred Creator card and see what comes out. Unstick the stuck. So if you are in a position right now where you feel like something is off, and you're trying to find that harmony, you're trying to find that balance, there's probably something that's holding you back from finding that balance. And with everything that's in retrograde right now, where you're being called upon to turn inwards and see what healing needs to be done. If you are all, for example, say you're all in head space and not enough in heart space, is it because the messaging that you've gotten growing up and that's formed your beliefs right now is, empathy is for the weak, and compassion is for the weak. Stop thinking about that sort of stuff. We need to do this. This is our structure. This is what we're supposed to do. Whether it makes you happy or not, type of thing. Like unstick those sorts of thoughts, those sorts of patterns. And that's really a lot about with these changes, and anytime we're talking about that in general, whether it's full moon where you're closing out a cycle, whether it's new moon where you're starting down a new path or whatever, it's how do you clear these blocks so that you can live a more fulfilling, balanced, peaceful life. All right, fireweed. Ignite new possibilities and adventures. So some of it may be part of the stuck is that you're stuck in a rut and, you do the same thing every day, and it just feels boring and kind of has that sense of, what's the point of it? Do something different. Go on an adventure. And I'm not necessarily saying it has to be some major life altering, hey, I'm going to quit my job and go sail around the world. But even sometimes a little bit of unsticking yourself and saying, hey, you know what, this weekend, I'm just going to drive, do something different, try something different, go on an adventure. All right, last but not least, we have our air signs. So that's our Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Let's see what message comes through for you. The Empress. This was your card yesterday too. So this Empress energy, and this is that divine feminine energy, that flowing, nurturing, abundant type of energy. And you're really being called to sit in that. But remember also with your Empress energy, yes, it's a nurturing, loving energy, but there's also a strength to that as well. So when you think about that, it's also about loving yourself, nurturing yourself. Like you're taking care of other people, but you also have to be taking care of yourself and sitting in your own power. And that's a big message. Like I said, when a card comes up multiple times in the same week, or in this case the same card back to back, you're really being called to stand in that Empress energy and break out of old patterns. And your Moon card, a new start is coming, new moon, and tonight we have our new moon. So there's something big that's trying to bubble up, and especially with this Empress card, in order to receive some of these exciting new blessings, the universe will be meeting you where you're at. So if you're wallowing away in the corner, why me? Life is so tough. Life is so tough. Life is so tough. That you're going to likely be attracting a lot more of that. If you can step into that Empress energy and, walk forward with pride and enthusiasm and confidence, you're going to get more of those levels of energies, opportunities, things like that. So this is exciting. It could be, maybe it's a new work opportunity, a new start with hobbies. Maybe you're turning over a new leaf with your kids or your family or a friend. Maybe it's a new relationship. Maybe it's a new stage in your current relationship. All right, let's take a look at our Sacred Creator card. Make a mission statement for your soul. And I love this one. It came out, I don't think it was in the air sign reading. I think it was maybe it was the fire signs yesterday. But I love this one, the make a mission statement for your soul. And sometimes, people might think, oh, that's kind of hokey. Why would I do that? And I'm not saying that it has to be a typed up, written, printed, mounted on your wall. This is my mission statement. But it really does, help if you can get clear, especially with yourself, get clear about what it is that you want in life. It's hard to go in that direction if you're not really clear about what that direction is. Just like if you were going to be taking a road trip and you say, I just want to go somewhere. Okay, well, where do you want to go? Like, do you want to go to the beach? Do you want to go to the forest? Do you want to go to the mountains? Do you want to go skiing? Like, do you want to go hide out in a bunker all weekend? Like, where is it that you want to go? And it makes it very difficult for you to feel like you're making progress on your journey if you don't know where you're going. So really think about that. And especially with the new moon coming in and a new start, I'm a huge dork. I love being organized. I love spreadsheets and stuff like that. So I probably would be the sort of person, hey, let me type this up and have my soul mission statement typed and printed. But I'm not saying that you have to do that. But that way, if you have this idea that this is the path that feels right to my soul, this is where I want to get to, or, and not so focused on the destination that you miss the journey, but it also helps you as you're making your way, may not be straight path, but as you're making your way towards that destination, when certain things come up, it's easier to say, you know what? Yeah, even though this is like chirping loudly in my face, this has nothing to do with where I want to get to in life. So I think I'm going to pass on that opportunity. Or, when you come to a fork in the road, well, which way do I go? You can figure it out more easily if you're clear about where you want to get to. All right. So let's pull your card. Come free. Root down to rise up. And that, I would say that goes along with, with making that mission statement. So, these are kind of the same color scheme. If you can see that the flowers are purple, like in terms of rooting down, but it's going with this mission statement. So if you want to be able to rise up and feel like, oh, I'm living my fullest life, know where you're trying to get to, but you also have to be able to dig down deep and root down and ground yourself. So make sure you're including lots of meditation, lots of hopefully some time outside, weather permitting or circumstances permitting for you. If you can go for a walk in the woods or walk around the neighborhood or sitting outside during the day and listening to the birds, or in the evening and listening to the crickets or whatever's in your area. That's really important to be able to help connect with nature as well. So I hope this has been helpful today for you. And as always, take only what resonates. And I wish you joy and peace along your path. Until next time, bye-bye.